Hey there, deep divers. Welcome back. You know how much we love a good deep dive here.
Oh, yeah?
And today we're taking a deep dive into something you probably already know is important, but maybe not in a way that's, like, truly empowered you.
Yeah.
Okay, we're talking about blood pressure.
Blood pressure.
And luckily, you guys have handed us a stack of info on blood pressure.
You have.
Ranges, risks, even how to measure it at home.
It's true.
And we're going beyond the surface here.
Okay.
We're diving deep with the TheEMTSpot's article called Blood Pressure Chart, What You're Reading Mean.
Okay.
Low, normal, elevated, or high.
Ah, interesting.
They've got charts, expert opinions,
Oh,
the works.
Okay, let's do it. Let's break it down.
I think we all know blood pressure is important.
Yes.
But can we start with a little blood pressure 101?
Absolutely. Think of your arteries like a network of highways.
Okay.
And your blood is the traffic flowing through.
Mm-hmm.
Blood pressure is simply the force of that traffic.
Okay.
Pushing against the highway walls.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And we've got those two numbers, right?
We do.
The systolic and diastolic.
Yeah.
It's always seemed a bit like a secret code to me.
I hear you. It's like the heartbeat of the highway.
Okay.
Systolic, the top number is that peak rush hour pressure
Okay.
as your heart pumps blood out.
Right.
Diastolic, the bottom number,
Yeah.
is more like that late night lull.
Okay.
The pressure between beats when your heart is taking a little break.
So it's not enough to just have one or the other be good.
Exactly.
They both need to be in that sweet spot.
Right. And that's where the AHA, the American Heart Association, comes in with their handy chart.
Yeah.
They break it down into categories from normal
Mhm.
to, well, let's just say situations you don't want to be in.
And this chart, it's not set in stone, is it? I remember back in the day, 140/90 was like the danger zone.
Yeah.
But now it's 130/80.
Exactly. And that shift is huge EE
Yeah.
for you, our listener.
Yeah.
What's fascinating is that even those numbers between 130/80
Right.
and that old 139/89,
Okay.
it's not a free pass.
Oh.
The article mentions that's still almost DOUBLE, your risk of heart complications.
So even being a little bit over is a big deal.
Think of it like this. If your highway is constantly experiencing many traffic jams,
Okay.
even if they're not full-blown pileups,
Right.
that wear and tear adds up.
Yeah.
The signal to pay attention,
Okay.
not panic.
Right. It's not about freaking out. It's about having the knowledge to be proactive.
Exactly.
So we've got these two numbers, systolic and diastolic.
Yes.
And I know from the article it's not just about which one is higher,
Right.
but how they work together.
You're spot on.
Okay.
It's like the difference between a sudden impact and constant pressure.
Okay.
High systolic pressure,
Mm.
that rush hour traffic,
Yeah.
it strains your heart muscle over time.
Wow.
Like driving with your foot constantly on the gas.
Oh, no.
This can lead to an enlarged heart, making it harder to pump efficiently.
And I'm guessing that relaxed late-night diastolic number being off is bad news, too.
Absolutely. If that diastolic pressure is high, it means your arteries are resisting that flow,
Oh, really?
even when your heart is resting.
Wow.
Like those highway walls are squeezing in,
Oh, no.
making it harder for traffic to get through.
So you've got this constant pressure even between beats.
Yeah.
What does that do to your arteries in the long run?
It damages that smooth inner lining,
Oh, no.
making them more prone to plaque buildup,
Oh, God.
which, as you can imagine,
Yeah.
is not a recipe for healthy blood flow. This sets the stage for potential blockages,
Right.
increasing the risk of heart attacks or strokes. And this is where it gets even more interesting.
Okay.
That ideal blood pressure.
Right.
It's not one size fits all.
Yeah, the article mentioned that a bunch of things factor in. Not just age, but
Yeah.
things like gender,
Yeah.
even race and ethnicity can change what's considered normal for you.
It's about understanding your personal baseline.
Right.
For example, as we get older,
Okay.
our arteries naturally lose some elasticity.
Right.
Imagine those highway walls getting a bit stiffer.
Okay.
So what's perfectly normal for someone in their 20s
Right.
might actually be a red flag for someone in their 70s.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. And it's not just about humans, right?
Right.
The article even had info on blood pressure ranges for pets. Like, did you know a cat's normal blood pressure
Oh, wow.
is actually higher than a dog's?
That's interesting.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's a fascinating example of how these physiological norms can differ,
Right.
even between species.
Right.
But focusing back on us humans,
Okay.
that 2020 report the article cited
Yeah.
really highlights how race and ethnicity
Yeah.
add another layer of complexity.
Right.
There's this misconception
Yeah.
that it's just about genetics,
Right.
but it goes way beyond that.
Oh, I'm curious what else plays a role.
So think about it.
Okay.
Lifestyle factors common to certain cultures.
Mm-hmm.
dietary habits passed down through generation,
Okay.
even systemic issues like socioeconomic disparities
Wow.
affecting access to health care. They all contribute to how blood pressure manifests
Wow.
differently across populations.
It's like this whole web of interconnected factors,
Yes.
not just one simple answer.
Exactly. And we can't forget about gender.
Right.
The article touched on how women experience
Right.
unique fluctuations throughout their lives.
Right.
Hormonal shifts during pregnancy, for instance,
Yeah.
can significantly impact blood pressure.
Which is why there are those specific guidelines
Yes.
for monitoring it during pregnancy,
Yeah.
right?
Precisely.
Oh.
It's about understanding those critical periods
Right.
where even slight deviations
Right.
from a woman's baseline could signal potential complications.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's menopause,
Yes.
another time of major hormonal change
Right.
that can influence blood pressure trends.
It's almost like you need your own personalized blood pressure owner's manual.
Right.
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
one thing I found super empowering in this article
Yeah.
was the focus on at-home monitoring.
Yes.
It's not just about those occasional doctor's office visits anymore.
It's a game changer.
Right.
Imagine having real-time traffic updates
Right.
on your highway system
Yeah.
instead of just checking in once in a while.
Right.
Knowing how to accurately monitor your blood pressure at home puts you in the driver's seat of your health,
Yeah.
providing valuable data for both you and your doctor.
The article mentioned a couple of devices,
Hi.
the Oxalign Pressure X Pro and the Check Me BP2.
Okay.
But I'm guessing it's not as simple as just slapping on any old cuff right now.
You're right.
Okay.
Having a good quality monitor is key.
Okay.
But the real magic is in using it correctly.
Okay.
The article really emphasized the importance of consistent technique.
Right.
Think of it like following a recipe.
Okay.
You need the right ingredients
Yeah.
and the right measurements for the best results.
Right.
Right.
So we're talking positioning the cuff correctly,
Yes.
making sure it's on bare skin,
Yes.
taking those readings at the same time each day.
Yes.
Consistency is key.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to get guidance from your healthcare provider
Right.
on the best practices.
Okay.
They can ensure you're using the device correctly
Right.
and interpreting those readings accurately.
Okay.
Because ultimately what we do with this information
Right.
is what really matters.
And that's where those lifestyle changes come in, right? The article had a whole section on how even if your blood pressure is a bit elevated,
Right.
there are things you can do
Yes.
before jumping straight to medication.
Absolutely. It's like having those tools
Okay.
to manage the traffic flow on your highway.
Okay.
Well, medication might be necessary in some cases.
Right.
Making those proactive lifestyle adjustments
Right.
can often be incredibly effective.
The article mentioned things like diet,
Yes.
exercise, stress management.
Right.
Are we talking about massive life overhauls here?
Or are there smaller, more sustainable changes that can make a difference?
It's more about being mindful
Okay.
and making gradual shifts
Okay.
that feel manageable for you.
Okay.
Instead of viewing it as deprivation,
Hmm.
think of it as giving your body the tools it needs to thrive.
So instead of picturing a complete dietary overhaul,
Right.
maybe it's about making simple swaps,
Yes.
like choosing herbs and spices over salt to flavor your food,
Right.
and finding ways to incorporate movement you enjoy into your day,
Yeah.
even if it's just a brisk walk.
Right. It's about finding what works for you and building sustainable habits. Even incorporating stress-reducing activities like meditation
Right.
or spending time in nature can have a significant impact
Yeah.
on your blood pressure over time. It's almost like those stress-relieving activities are giving your arteries a chance to relax and de-stress too.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
Because it's true. Managing stress isn't just about feeling better mentally. It has a direct physiological impact on your body, including your blood pressure.
Right.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into blood pressure, what are some key takeaways you hope our listeners walking away with today?
I think the biggest one is this. Knowledge is power when it comes to your health. Don't wait for symptoms to appear before you start paying attention to your blood pressure. We're talking about being proactive, being your own health advocate.
Right, like that old saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Exactly. Knowing your numbers is key.
Yeah.
Make those regular blood pressure checks a part of your routine, whether at the doctor's office or using your trusty at-home monitor.
Right.
And remember, if those numbers are creeping up, don't panic, but don't ignore it either.
Right, because now, armed with this knowledge from our deep dive, it's not just about a single number,
Right.
but understanding the nuances, the trends, and your own personal baseline.
Precisely. Talk to your doctor, ask questions. Understand your individual risk factors, explore those lifestyle changes we talked about, and if needed, discuss medication options.
This deep dive has given you the tools and the knowledge to have those informed conversations. Remember, your health is an ongoing dialogue, not a one-time event.
And that's such an important point to end on. Stay informed, stay curious, and keep making choices that empower you on your health journey.
We've given you the roadmap. Now it's time for you to navigate. So here's a final thought for you to ponder. If knowledge is power, imagine the possibilities when you combine that knowledge with action. What will you do today to take charge of your heart health?